and hang around till the end to see a sneak peek of a new Z-mount lens coming very soon. G'day everybody, how are you going today? It is so good to see you. I do hope you are super well. Today I want to talk to you about what we think the future of Z cinema series is. This was a term that I first saw in the press release for the Red Komodo X and the V-RAPTOR X. Two astonishingly capable global shutter cameras. One is an 8K VistaVision camera, basically near on full frame, and the other one is Super 35, which is very similar to APS-C. Nikon/Red, of course, Nikon continues to be the parent and nothing is going to change there. Nikon, along with Red, have worked very hard to create, in under a year of the announcement of this union of these two companies, the first camera that is a Red with a Z mount. Not only have they attached the mount, they have also started to make a few engineering tweaks when it comes to software, which includes iris control, button functionality, autofocus features, and more. This is a brilliant first step into what Nikon is going to do with Red cameras. The question to me is Z Cinema Series. What does that actually mean? Is this a term? Is this a naming moniker, a naming schedule that will only be used by Red, or will it be used by Nikon as well? And another question that I have around all of this, will we see Z Red lenses? In other words, will Nikon make cinema lenses, Z-mount cinema lenses, which are actually branded Red? And what made me think about this particular question was the fact that when doing research for another video last week, I had been aware that Red did make lenses in the past, but I just wanted to double check that. And when I looked into it, I could see that Red's usual very exciting, very interesting industrial design was also applied to these just beautiful looking lenses. Will we see both Nikon, Nikkor Z branded cinema lenses, and will we see Red branded Nikkor Z cinema lenses? And to me, this is a really interesting question. And the fact that now Nikon clearly has, via Red, two distinct product lines. We've got an astonishing full-frame cinema camera in the Red Raptor, but we also have a very competent cinema camera, a camera that can create video in the Z9. These are both Nikon-owned cameras and companies, and now they both use the same mount. But does the cinema world, and is the cinema world, more interested in traditional cinema optics, which is manual lenses? They don't have autofocus. They do not have auto iris control. Everything is controlled manually on the exterior of the lens mechanically. So could we see Nikon potentially making a line of lenses, a line of amazing primes that fit in that category, a set of Red-based Red lenses, essentially Red Nikkor Z lenses, with this beautiful styling that we've seen before? I think it's absolutely possible. And Nikon is the company to bring us those lenses, one of the best optics companies in the world. And they could provide that to fit in the market alongside the Cooke lenses and other brands of cine lenses that exist today and are very expensive. This is a great new area of business that Nikon can open up by way of making these manual cinema lenses that are just creme de la creme. And of course, they can make like the PZ lens that we just saw released, which is a video-first lens, can still be used for stills, still has autofocus, still has aperture control, all the things that we would expect as photographers, but they are also a little bit video-focused as well. So I could see those two things happening. They're both called Nikkor Z video-first lenses, but some are Red Nikkors and others are Nikon Nikkors. Is it possible? I totally see it being possible. And with the astonishing glass that we're seeing of late and we've seen for the last couple of years, along with, of course, the arrival of the 35mm 1.2, we know that Nikon has the chops and the pedigree to give us best in class when it comes to lenses for cinema. And now to be able to apply all of their lens optics engineering prowess and provide that for a camera. I mean, it's amazing to me, but a camera like the V-RAPTOR X global shutter, 21 plus stops of dynamic range, on and on it goes. This just seems like the absolute perfect synergy to me. So I'd love to know what you think about this. Is this possible? Is it going to happen? Do you think it makes sense from an engineering perspective and from a financial perspective? The idea of opening a new market in this premium space of cine lenses, where we know that Nikon can not only make the beautiful glass, we've got that very cool red design aesthetic. To me, again, this is pretty binary. They either will do it or they won't do it. And well, I'm gonna err on the side of they will do it, because this is going to expand their market, plus creates some astonishing lenses. And if we circle back to where the Z mount began, and what was one of the first lenses that came out? And yes, indeed, it was the Noct. This was a fully manual lens with a manual aperture and manual focus, but absolute optical perfection. This lens can now be natively mounted to these two Z Red cameras, and this lens is the perfect candidate for cinematographers. And what we can start to see here is Nikon's vision, Nikon's desire to play the long game. Now, I suspect it's quite a few years ago that Nikon decided that cinema was a good idea. Obviously, the Z9 2021 clearly said video, 8K, raw, 60 frames per second, astonishing. That's 2021, and this camera would have been in development for a number of years. Let's go back 2 years, and that's 2019. And guess what? That is when the Noct came out, in 2019. And look, that's being conservative, saying a 2-year lead time on the Z9. I'm sure it's more like 4 years. So whether Nikon way back in 2018 were thinking, in 2016, even before, oh yes, we're going to buy a cinema company, I certainly think they were planning on getting quite seriously into video, because the Z9 would have had such a long lead time in development, and video is such a huge part of that camera. And let's not forget, mirrorless cameras, mirrorless hybrid stills cameras are actually video cameras. When we are looking through an EVF, we are looking at a live video feed of what the sensor is seeing. And that is the same definition of a video camera. So it kind of makes sense. If you're going to make the best stills video camera, you may as well make it a great video camera as well. This is great stuff. It's going to be, from my perspective, really fun to see the Noct. And for those that don't know what the Noct is, it has an aperture of 0.95. And thus it can see in the dark. 0.95, it doesn't sound a lot, but even when you're coming from f1.2 to 1, that is half a stop's difference. So you're somewhere between half a stop and a full stop of extra light gathering capability. And when you're way down that end and you're seeing in the dark, and I can tell you these 1.2 lenses can already see in the dark, any extra light that you can collect, and when it's as optically magnificent as the Noct is, this is an amazing result. All right, everybody. Well, I think there is so much to come when it comes to the Z Cinema series. I think we've got a lot to look forward to. As I've said in previous video, anything that helps Nikon sell more lenses, whether they're cinema first or stills first lenses, all of this is helping Nikon have more R&D budget, which impacts all of us positively. I'd love to know your thoughts, everybody's thoughts about this. Please do let me know in the comments below. It's been so good to see you. And if this is your first time here, I'd love to see you again. So please do subscribe. Please share. And please like. Tell me, can you guess what this lens is? What is its focal length? Here we are looking at the Z8 shooting in both 8K and in 4K, 120 frames per second using the 2.3 times crop. So what is this lens? Looking absolutely beautiful. More coming very soon. All right, bye for now.